championship team, Bob. Championship teams don't blow 18 and 12-point leads against Utah and LA at home. Championship teams don't make mental mistakes when the game is on the line. Championship teams get to these points and they break through, and that's what this is about. If they are a championship team, they will win today.
So he should be saying that to them, is what you're saying. In the locker room right now, he should be saying, look, we don't want to be in this position, but we are, and it's a chance for us to prove who we are.
And sometimes it's a sobering effect for the coach. It's almost calming, because you know you're a great team, and you say, I would like to get this team to this point sometime to see exactly what they're made of. Well, this is the day.
All right, we'll talk more extensively about the Lakers and Trailblazers in a moment, but first, the Eastern Conference Finals are on the verge of ending early after the Bulls' 113-107 win over the Pistons yesterday at the Palace. Detroit is in a precarious position indeed. No team has ever come back from 3-0 down to win a series at any point along the way in the NBA playoffs. Finals, early series, never. It's never happened. The way Chicago is playing, the Pistons' chances for the three-peat have gone past the crisis point. Marv Albert is at the Palace for Game 4 tomorrow. The Bulls were on the floor practicing a moment ago. Marv, what's the story?
All right, Bob, to illustrate how severely the Bulls have dominated the Pistons, how about this stat? Over the course of this entire series, the Detroit Pistons have enjoyed the lead for only 3 minutes, 31 seconds. That's been it. So the defending champion Pistons, frustrated and now desperate, face a 3-0 deficit. And as Bob just mentioned, in the history of the NBA, no team has come back after trailing 3-0. A subject I discussed with Detroit captain Isaiah Thomas.
That's all false. You know, if you got to do that, then you shouldn't be playing. If you got to depend on something else to get you up and psych yourself out and all that other mumbo-jumbo, then you shouldn't be playing a game of basketball. That's what I think. Now, somebody else may sit here and tell you something different, but in terms of Isaiah, when I walk out on the court, I'm going to win the basketball game, and I'm coming to win it regardless what the odds are, what history says. If I need some other false thing to pep me up, then I shouldn't be playing the game.
A proud Isaiah Thomas insisting that this series is far from over. And we are joined by the coach of the Phoenix Suns, Cotton Fitzsimmons, who will be with us on tomorrow's telecast. Cotton, from Chicago's point of view, what is their major concern?
Well, I think Phil Jackson wants to be sure his team is relaxed, but not too relaxed. Confident, but not too overconfident. Michael Jordan a few minutes ago assured me there have been no celebrations by the Chicago Bulls. They're focused and ready to play.
So Phil looking to guard against being a little bit too loose with that 3-0 lead. Now, we watch both Detroit and Chicago work out. What do you come away from watching the Pistons?
Well, I think, Marv, first of all, if you believe Isaiah Thomas, there will be a Game 5 in Chicago. But after watching the Pistons leave the locker room after the workout, I think the mind is willing. I'm not certain their body's willing.
Okay, we'll be here for Game 4 tomorrow afternoon starting at 3 Eastern Time with Showtime. Back to Bob and Pat.
All right, Marv, Cotton, thanks a lot. In the overview, here's what I think Chicago has proven already. Michael shoots 6 for 15 in Game 1. In Games 2 and 3, he tops 30 points, but he doesn't heat up until the second half. Single digits in the first half of both those games, and Chicago's in control all the way through. They have proven that they don't have to go to him.
Well, I think that's been the greatest improvement on the Chicago Bulls over the last couple of years. Michael Jordan can make the statement. The Pistons know, they know that they're a better basketball team because they have more balance right now. And you're seeing the emergence of Scottie Pippen going from a star to a superstar. Now, over in the West, the Lakers and Trailblazers are minutes away from the tip-off of Game 4 of their series. The Blazers trail that series 2-1, and a loss today definitely is going to probably take away the opportunity for them to achieve the dream that they want, and that is to win the title. We got Dick Enberg and Steve Jones. They're in Los Angeles. What's going on out there, guys?
Well, Pat, as you well can attest, there's not a long-standing love relationship between most coaches and sports writers. And even before this critical Game 4, there's a war of words up in the city of Portland, Oregon. On one side is sports writer Bill Walton, who is now writing a column after every Portland playoff game and often critical of the Blazers' play. In fact, he's raised the ire of the head coach of the Blazers, Rick Adelman, who says he's not at all pleased with what he's been reading.
The reason I responded is because there was so much inaccuracy in him that I just thought, you know, I mean, why is he allowed to continue to say things not only about players but about our team when he doesn't know our team. I mean, I think it's really hard to be a professional in that field if you don't even take the time to go and talk to the coaching staff and find out what in the world they're trying to do and then make an intelligent comment. And that's what I said. And I'll answer it in my own column.
And here it is, Rick Adelman's column from today's Oregonian. The writing for the same newspaper in Portland. Give us the facts, Bill, and forget speculation, as he goes one by one through the many critical comments of Bill Walton. Steve Jones, you're alert to what's happening up there in the Northwest. Is this serious? Is it a distraction at all for Adelman?
Well, you know, for coaches, it's serious. Anything that takes away the focus of their ball players from what they're supposed to be doing out on the floor is considered a distraction. For the Oregonian itself, and they've got both of them writing, it's selling a lot of papers. And you know, in Oregon, it's a big, big news story, and they've been talking about it for 3 days.
Well, part of the fact, of course, that in Portland, one of the smaller NBA markets, it's so important that the fans eager to read. And now a battle of words continues. And here at Showtime, it's Luella Parsons, Walter Winchell, head of Hopper country. Well, excuse me, Jack Nicholson. We'll get back to you later. And now back to Bob Costas and Pat Riley.
All right, what's your take on this?
I think he made a big, big mistake. I really do. I don't think the media has as much a part as much a part of this game as the players are, as the coaches are, and the ability of coaches and players to take the criticism and deal with it and go on with it is what it's all about. And I think he did create more of a problem than there really was.
So the point is not whether the criticism is valid or not, or whether the press is always responsible or not, and sometimes they are irresponsible. The point is, what are you focused on?
It doesn't make any difference what happens to you. It's how you deal with it. It's how you grow from it. And I think this is a big mistake to answer those criticisms.
All right, we got to call a timeout on Showtime. When we come back, it's the Insiders, Bob Ferry, and a member of the press, the always esteemed Peter Vesey. Back after this. All right, news and views from the Insiders, beginning with Peter Vesey on the Patrick Ewing situation. Now, he had a complex contract clause which would have allowed him to become a restricted free agent and make who knows how much money if he ever became the 5th highest paid player in the league. If it ever got to the point where 4 players in the league made more than he did in straight salary in a given year, he'd become a restricted free agent. The deadline for that is June 1st, and apparently no one's contract's going to be renegotiated in the meantime, so technically Patrick's clause doesn't kick in.
Right, but even if it had kicked in, even if there was a player that was going to be set up for that, maybe Scottie Pippen had re-signed or something and he would have qualified, it didn't matter. The Knicks decided when Dave Checketts took over this club that they were going to re-sign Patrick, not to paralyze their club, their salary cap. They don't want to do that, but they were going to work something out with him. And there's been a lot written in the papers about this June 1st deadline. It's irrelevant. I mean, he is not going to be traded. The clubs around the league have been told he's not going to be traded. The new coach that comes in wants Patrick Ewing at all costs, and that's the way it stands.
There was a point midway through the season, though, where they were entertaining the possibility of trading him, right?
Well, it definitely was. I mean, there was a lot written about the Clippers offering a bunch of players for Patrick, and that was true. But what people don't realize is that the Knicks were prepared to send Patrick Ewing to Miami for Cycli, Douglas, and the #1 pick, which turned out to be the 5th pick. And what happened was, it was right on trading deadline. The Knicks had already decided to bring in Dave Checketts as the president. They asked him about the trade. He killed it.
Ronnie Cycli, Sherman Douglas, and a pick that could have been anywhere from 1 to 5 or whatever, wound up being 5.
Right. And Dave Checketts killed it without even being in there as the Knicks president. It's good news.
Patty, an interested bystander. How about, speaking of Miami, how about their coaching vacancy?
Well, Miami, I talked to Billy Cunningham this morning, and he told me that they've interviewed Kevin Lockery twice, and the last time up to 8 hours, so they must be very serious about him. But they're going to talk to a couple more people this week, and they're not going to make a decision this week. It'll probably be shortly thereafter. But also, I found out in Minnesota that they've already talked to Jimmy Rogers, the ex-Boston coach. They're going to interview Matt Calvin, who's with Milwaukee. They're going to talk to Fred Carter with Philadelphia. And as of late, again, I've heard that they're going to talk to Gary St. Jean of Golden State, Don Nelson's guy. So they've got a tough decision out there. Right now, if they had to choose, I think they would take Jimmy Rogers.
You know, they don't interrogate spy suspects for 8 hours.
Well,
after 3 or 4 hours, haven't you got the gist of it?
Well, you know the big thing. And then the third job that's open, the New York Knicks. Everywhere I go, I'm asked by cab drivers, bartenders, bellhops.
Pretty much our audience.
Bill Cunningham, the managing partner of the Heat, just 10 minutes ago when I talked to him on the phone, asked me, he says, is Pat Riley going to take the Knick job? Well, I've asked Pat. Peter, the other inside, we've tried to get this out of Pat, but I'm tired of answering the question. Once and for all, I'm on the record that Pat Riley is going to take the Knick job. Oh. Now, you can deny it. Don't say anything, Pat.
No, was that a source close to me, or was it...
He asked me. What about Larry Bird's situation?
Well, to get serious, Larry Bird returned to his home in French Lick after the playoffs, and he's been there for 2 weeks. He'll return to Boston later this week for a back operation, and then he will spend all summer recuperating, rehabilitating in Boston.
You know, there's a lot of people out there who really think this is a career-ending type of surgery. I had back surgery. I know a number of other players that have had it in this league, and I do think that probably when Larry has the surgery, the one thing he will become void of is the constant nerve pain that goes down his leg. So once that's over with, I think his attitude's going to change. I think he's going to realize that he can continue to play, and I think it'll be great news for the
Hopefully it'll help his post-game quotes. It really was
makes
it really
you
hurt
miserable.
them.
I mean, low back pain, I mean, if you've never had it, and especially if you have it for an extended period of time, it changes your whole disposition. I mean, ever since I had my back surgery, I mean, look what's happened to me.
Yes, a mellow and likable man. Now on to the Detroit Pistons we go. The patient has not officially been declared dead, but the pulse is very, very faint, down 0-3 to the Bulls. So assuming, just for the purposes of this argument, that the Pistons' days of glory are over, where do they go from here? What do they do next?
Well, I think Jack McCluskey is going to have to explore every possible avenue. He's going to have to get a good draft pick this year, and he's either going to have to make a big trade or write it out what he's got, because these players are pretty old, and he doesn't have that many players to trade.
All right, if you talk about a big trade, many key players, Lambier, Edwards, Vinnie Johnson, they're in their mid-30s. Their trade value has been diminished. As I see it, you got 3 guys with a lot of trade value at this point. Isaiah, who's 30, been in the league 10 years, but still only 30 because he came out early. Rodman, Dumars. Do you trade any of them?
No, none of them. This team came together because of their defense. When Rodman and Sally joined the club, and they came together because of the offense of those 3 guards that they have. They've got to keep that group together, get another young guard, get Charles Shackelford from Europe to revive the front court.
I think they did a great job, Chuck did, and Jack, of taking this team and letting it run its course. They had to give them an opportunity to try to win 3 in a row, but I think Bob is right. I think Peter is right. I hate to give them that kind of credit, you know, but I think they have to make some changes, but keep those young guys.
All right, we got to get out of here. You're definitely turning down that proposed Clipper deal, though. That Danny Manning and a draft pick for Isaiah. You don't want that.
No way.
All right, we're gone and back after this.
Although Portland had the best regular season record in the NBA and have advanced to the Western Conference Finals for the 2nd straight year, they don't have the celebrity of the Lakers, Bulls, or Pistons. Yet away from the glare of the national media, Portland has become a member of the league's elite. In fact, they may have acquired all the necessary ingredients to become the next NBA champions. While the Lakers in the 1980s seemed to own both Los Angeles and the NBA, up the road in Portland, Oregon, a powerful team was being built.
In developing a franchise like this, you have to have patience.
I'd get it one piece at a time.
The decision was made that we wanted to go up-tempo a little bit more, and really the first player that allowed us to do that was when we drafted Clyde Drexler.
Arriving from the University of Houston in 1983, Drexler would ignite the Trailblazers' fast break.
Clyde gave us the running, the quickness that we wanted. He was a guy that really we wanted to build around in our full-court game.
Portland selects Sam Bowie, University of Kentucky.
Believing they had their big man for the future, Portland passed on a superstar to be.
I probably was the only one in the room that probably wanted to take Jordan, and everybody wanted to take Sam. No, that's not true.
Delving into the unknown, the Blazers drafted 2 players from small schools. First, Jerome Kersey from Longwood College.
Jerome was kind of a find. You know, he just wouldn't let us cut him. You know, he just played so well that we couldn't let him go.
And at Wisconsin Stevens Point, Portland would discover their point guard of the future in Terry Porter.
Oftentimes, players come into the league with a big reputation and are content to rest on their laurels. Both Terry and Jerome knew that they had to work and have worked very, very hard.
Still in need of a center because of Sam Bowie's recurring leg fractures, Portland traded away highly touted Walter Berry for a rookie named Kevin Duckworth. The nucleus was now complete.
Once you get a core group and you like your players, I think it's very important that you keep them together and don't tear the fabric of the team apart and try and add to it.
We go out tonight, we're going to control the basket area, both ends. It's going to be our territory tonight.
When they added Buck Williams, they got a dominating force.
We just felt that we had to have a power forward who could play good defense. Be able to acquire Buck was really the making of his team.
But Buck Walther and the Blazers continued to add valuable depth, drafting forward Cliff Robinson out of Connecticut in 1989.
Go! Get back! Danny, get up!
And obtaining veterans Danny Ainge and Walter Davis.
We made the trade for Walter Davis because we felt he was going to help us. But it's always nicer to have him playing on your team than to play on the other team.
It makes it very hard for the opposing team to key in on one or two guys because we have so many people we can hurt you with.
Portland now believes it has all the pieces. And although some arrive from obscure locations, the Blazers feel this assembled cast is capable of meeting the task at hand.
Okay, a couple of points before we send it out to Enberg and Jones for the tip-off. From the Laker perspective, Divac's great against Houston, disappears, arrives again for Game 3, 16.7 boards, 3 blocks.
Well, he only disappeared against Golden State because of the matchups, and he got a lot of criticism for not playing well against them. But he definitely is a player that is unique, and I think he's given them a big lift throughout the playoffs and this year, and one of the reasons why the Lakers have been able to go above and beyond.
But Magic was all over him for not playing tough in Game 2.
He's his motivator. He's his mentor. You know, I mean, he knows they can't win without aggressive play out of the center position, and he's getting that out of Lottie.
And your man Byron Scott has been drilling those threes and hitting big buckets at key moments in games throughout the playoffs. Off to Dick Enberg and Steve Snapper Jones from the Great Western Forum after this commercial break. We'll see you at halftime.
And downs. For my superstar, I prescribed a good night's sleep on a Simmons Beauty Rest.
When you glide and twist and turn at work, you don't want to toss and turn at night. That's why I chose a Simmons Beauty Rest. And when I thought of Simmons, I thought of Smith, because nobody cares like Smith.
Eric Johnson, frustrated entertainer, satisfied sports guy.
Led by Magic, they're the big guns in the NBA West. The Los Angeles Lakers and the Portland Trail Blazers. Game 1, Portland. Byron Scott's immaculate outside shooting rallied the Lakers from 14 down. Sam Perkins' late jam took the home court edge away from the Blazers. Game 2. Portland's Terry Porter, a game-high 26, but the battle cry was on the boards. 51-28 Portland. The Lakers' Vlade Divac manhandled and blamed, except by Coach Mike Dunleavy.
I thought there was too much criticism being put on Vlade for our loss in Game 3. Vlade Divac did not lose that game for us. The Los Angeles Lakers lost that game as a team.
Back to Los Angeles, and vindication for Vlade. 3 steals, 7 rebounds to raise the Forum spirits. This rebound follow 2 of his 16. What a difference a day makes. With Magic engineering the show, the Lakers hold the lead 2-1 for favored Portland, the team with the NBA's best record. Chances for the finals now a growing challenge. With pressure comes fear, even for a seasoned veteran.
I feel afraid of the Lakers. I feel that whoever wins Game 4 is going to win the series. It's that simple. I think we have to approach the game like it's a Game 7 of the series.
the NBA on NBC. The 1991 NBA playoffs.
Cold filtered, Miller Genuine Draft. For those who've discovered its real draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
The Dodge Spirit, the Plymouth Acclaim. Last year in consumer comparisons, 83 out of 100 people preferred the Acclaim and Spirit to Honda Accord. Both have a longer powertrain warranty than Honda, more interior room, and a driver's airbag. So what are you waiting for? A deal? All right. We're offering savings and incentives up to $2,250. Rediscover the great American family car values.
In trying to make an artistic statement, one should be careful not to let one's personal aroma do the talking. In order not to offend the critics, I recommend Right Guard Sports Stick. It provides maximum protection and the freshest scents, a sublime palette of odoriferous emanations. After all, a true artiste should be remembered for his inspiration, not his perspiration. Right Guard Sports Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
Did you know? The cost of 2 business calls from these Detroit mechanics to Atlanta may surprise you.
Vintage cars are my specialty.
With AT&T Long Distance, your small business can get AT&T quality at extremely competitive prices.
I treat cars like people.
Even though the other company would like you to believe,
See ya.
they always save you lots of money.
That's all I save? Drives you crazy, doesn't it?
Competitive price, another AT&T advantage.
The Bulls going for the switch. The Pistons fighting to stay alive. Game 4 of the NBA Eastern Conference Finals. A Monday afternoon special on NBC.
Not long ago, we asked Toyota truck owners with 100,000 miles to tell us their story. They did, by the thousands. The letters kept coming from all over the country. From satisfied ranchers, electricians, park rangers, firefighters, over 14,000 of them. Each one a 100,000-mile truck story. That adds up to 1.4 billion truck miles. And the letters keep coming. I love what you do for me, Toyota.
Darling, after 10 years, the only thing I'd change about you is your clothes.
Bugle boy.
Why don't you try this one on first?
Bit by bit, putting it together. Piece by piece, the way to make an ideal work.
Behind every accomplishment is a document that bridges the gap between what can be and what will be.
Every moment's contribution, every detail plays a part. Putting it together.
Putting together documents that can change the world. Faxing, scanning, copying, printing. Xerox, the document company.
We go to the beach. Everyone gets hot and cranky. You must have air conditioning. Cruise control. It keeps your foot from falling asleep. Power locks and windows, because when you go camping, you gotta keep the bears out.
The Toyota 4Runner Extra Value Option Package. Save up to $800 on options some people think aren't so optional.
Chrome package, so all your friends will look at you. I love what you do for me, Toyota.
We all like to keep our car looking new. That's why so many people use Armor All Protectant. Armor All cleans and shines the rubber, plastic, and vinyl. And it protects all those surfaces, too. So Armor All makes your car look like new and helps it last longer. And that makes you look pretty smart. Armor All, it keeps you looking good.
High school and
town called Natchitoches, Louisiana. Believe me, if I can make it out of the small town that I did, everybody else out there watching it can make it. You're gonna have obstacles come up. People are gonna say, hey, let's hang out, let's skip class today. But if you want it bad enough and you're willing to make the sacrifices to get there, you can get there. Stay in school. It's your best move.
A message from Ronald McDonald Children's Charities, the NBA and its players.
All across the USA, for as long as we've been around, our passengers are our neighbors. This country's our hometown. Every time we fly, every mile of sky, everything we do, USA, USA begins with you.
What's the coolest new thing in sports? It's red. It's new tropical fruit flavored Gatorade. With a big, bold flavor that makes it the coolest new thing in sports.
Gatorade thirst quencher for that deep down valley thirst.
Cross training, Toyota style. Now hit the shower.
I love what you do for me, Toyota.
Before watching Fresh Prince.
Pass the ball! This is basketball, not rodeo!
After watching Fresh Prince. Check out The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air for a change. Monday on NBC.
So, what are we going to talk about at halftime?
We're going to talk a little bit about set offense, the Lakers set offense, and I think a lot about the motion offense, the Portland Trail Blazers, which is getting them in trouble.
Well, the Lakers will be set if they can hang on here and go up 3-1. We'll talk about that. We'll also hear from Jimmy Connors at the French Open. That's at halftime. For now, back out west to Dick Enberg and Steve Snapper Jones.
Hi. Today, Mr. Robinson had a birthday party and got lots of great presents. He got some Air Force 180s for Moses Malone. Ooh, and some more from Michael Jordan. And some more from Charles Barkley. And he got an autographed picture from Commissioner Stern. Commissioner Stern is a great commissioner, but he gives crummy birthday presents.
It started with a need.
A severe weather watch is in effect.
What time did they leave? I was on my way to Mom's, just me and the kids, when it happened.
A need to combine handling, power, and added peace of mind in a family car. Automobile Magazine called it a new standard by which all minivans will be judged.
It handled beautifully.
We call it Previa. It's a Toyota.
They just drove up.
And it's like nothing you've ever experienced.
In trying to make an artistic statement, one should be careful not to let one's personal aroma do the talking. In order not to offend the critics, I recommend Right Guard Sports Stick. It provides maximum protection and the freshest scents, a sublime palette of odoriferous emanation. After all, a true artiste should be remembered for his inspiration, not his perspiration. Right Guard Sports Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
This is the Prudential Halftime Report. Come to the companies of the Prudential and build your future on the rock.
Okay, Jerome Kersey with 13, Clyde Drexler with 10 to lead the Blazers, Worthy, Perkins, Magic, Divac, all with 10, nobody more than that for the Lakers. but they have 7 players with 7 points or more in the course of opening up a 20-point halftime lead, 62-42, and as you've said and explained all year long, it's the Lakers' offensive philosophy to attack matchups. That they've done in the first half.
Well, they really tried to exploit that each and every single time down the court. They developed their offensive philosophy from the inside out. In other words, they'll always start down in a post-up situation. They force the defense to come down and double-team him. But what they do is they have great shot makers. Sam Perkins, James Worthy, Magic Johnson, Terry Teagle, even Vlade to an extent, can get the ball up over the top. And you define a team's offensive greatness by the number of players that have to be double-teamed. Now, we're going to take a look at a little bit of footage. One of them is Magic Johnson, obviously, and he will always back up into the post. But right here, you'll watch the Portland Trail Blazers. 5 guys actually convert. Now, Worthy is not out there just sort of in the parking lot. He's out there because it's planned, it's defined, and he's the kind of player that can hit that open shot. Right here, the Lakers run a set play. It's this set offense. They'll look for it cut here by Divac, okay? He gets a wide open layup, but Bob, if that wasn't there, their next option would automatically go to a post-up player like Worthy or Perkins in the low post. So the set offense philosophy by the Lakers is one where they really look to get a quick shot for somebody. If they don't, then they're going to go down inside. They're going to make a double team them. They're going to get all the good shots they want.
And Byron Scott has really lived off that in the playoffs. How many times with the shot clock running down in crunch time in a game has Byron Scott been wide open out on a wing somewhere? And of course, Byron has upheld his end. He's stuck the shot under pressure.
Well, somewhere along the line, he is shooting 64% from three-point range. Now, the spots are very defined. They have great spacing. Magic, Worthy, Perkins, they know where Byron's going to be. And I think Byron probably is in the best groove that he's ever been in since 1987 when he was totally healthy. It's great to see him come back, but he has really been a big factor throughout the playoffs, hitting big shots.
Now, maybe from Portland's standpoint, you rationalize this by saying live by the sword, die by the sword, with that motion offense and the great athleticism of almost their entire roster. Here they are rushing the ball up the floor. They're hoisting a shot every 8.5 seconds in the first half. The Lakers taking 5 seconds more and converting a higher percentage, one every 13.5 seconds.
Yeah. Well, you know, the Lakers probably would have taken 18 or 20 seconds, but because Portland is hocking it up there about every 8 seconds, they're actually getting quicker shots. But what the random offense or motion offense does is it allows the Laker defense to continue to move. They're all big. They're very long-armed, 6'9" or more. So they switch a lot, and they don't give the Trailblazers the gaps to drive. Right now, they're forcing a lot of tough perimeter shots.
Yeah, even the 13.5 seconds per shot for the Lakers a little bit distorted. Right. They've actually been more patient than that because it factors in the fast break points that come off long rebounds or whatever with Portland hoisting it up quickly. We'll call a timeout right now. When we come back, we'll head over to Paris and check in with Jimmy Connors, who's continuing his comeback at the French Open. We come back after this.
Okay, kids, I guess that wraps up logarithms. Moving right along now to the Pythagorean theorem. Simple, simple, simple. This states that the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the square of the opposite two sides, as in a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Got that? Great. Next, advanced calculus.
At the Prudential, we believe some things can't be explained with a lot of fancy talk. So when it comes to homeowners insurance...
Let's go over your property coverage again.
We won't let you get it until you've got it. Your piece of the rock.
Come on, man. Remember, we're MVPs. When we wear the NBA uniform, we feel like a star from head to toe. So let's get it together.
NBA Authentics, the official clothing and equipment used at NBA games. Yes, NBA Authentics, the real stuff. For a gift catalog, send $1 to this address.
Okay, welcome back now to the Prudential Halftime Report. We turn our attentions now to tennis. With the French Open set to begin tomorrow, some news today from Paris. Yvonne Lendl, 3-time French Open champion and the #3 seed this year, has withdrawn from the tournament due to an injured hand. We'll hear more about Lendl from Jimmy Connors in a moment. But first, 1991 has seen more than its share of comebacks. Older athletes not content with past glories, returning to the spotlight to take on much younger adversaries. Here's a look. Those comebacks have had varying degrees of success. Hall of Famer Jim Palmer didn't make it past spring training. Injuries ended his return to the Baltimore Orioles. Swimmer Mark Spitz, who won 7 gold medals at Munich in '72, has been soundly beaten in 2 match races and apparently can't compete at the level he once did. Former world heavyweight champion George Foreman made a surprisingly strong showing in 12 rounds against Evander Holyfield, but lost the decision to the younger, fitter champion. Now you can add Jimmy Connors to the list of those making a return. After injuring his wrist more than a year ago, the 38-year-old Connors played only 3 matches in 1990. So far this year, he's played in 4 tournaments. His best showing was at last month's Japan Open, where he advanced to the 3rd round before falling to the #1 ranked player in the world, Stefan Edberg. The 3-set match included Connors winning the 2nd set in a tiebreaker. And a short while ago, I talked to Jimmy Connors from Paris. I asked him if taking a set off of Edberg was a big confidence builder for him.
Oh, absolutely. I was off for about 12 or 14 months last year and had my wrist operated on, and to come back and to win a couple matches and then play Edberg as close as I did was very encouraging. It was a confidence builder that I needed to see really where I was as far as the way I was playing my tennis, and also the kind of condition that I was in at the time. And even though more work is necessary, it was good fun to know I could still play that match that close.
Now, tomorrow you play Todd Witskin of the United States. He's ranked 62nd in the world. Suppose you beat him and then have some success beyond that. How are you going to reconcile advancing through the draw with your commentating duties for NBC?
Well, hopefully I can do both, but maybe we'll do something a little different if I make it that far and put a little box on the back of my shorts and let me run around and give you first eye information like they put the cameras in the race cars and things. It'd be kind of fun to do. I think you better have a little on and off button for me, though, just in case I get into a heated battle and it gets pretty exciting.
How about Ivan Lendl's situation?
Difficult timing for him to consider doing that right now, right before the French Open, which I think is really his best chance to win a Grand Slam now. I don't know if he did it now to move on down and try to get in shape for Wimbledon or not, but bad timing for him and also for the tournament to have the #2 seed or 3 seed be dropped out like that.
So Lendl withdraws. Let's handicap the rest of the field, Edberg, Becker, and the rest.
Well, Edberg is not one of the most healthy players at the moment right now either. There's been some talk about him not feeling too well. He said he's got a problem, I think, with his hip, so you know how he feels coming into the tournament is questionable. Also, Boris Becker has been struggling a little bit in the past couple of weeks with his health. Jonas Svensson has pulled out. He has a problem, so a number of seeds have fallen before the tournament has even started, so that's going to open up the draw in a lot of places for a couple of dark horses.
Let's take a look at the women's side. Monica Seles is #1, Steffi Graf 2, and Gabriela Sabatini 3. How do you see it?
I would have to pick Sabatini only because she has had a good record over Graf and won a number of major tournaments this year. Her confidence is way up as high as it can get, I would think, and if she can come in here and play well, she can do it, and it looks like her event.
The French, by the way, is the only Grand Slam event that Jimmy Connors never won. Reached the semifinals there 4 times, never got any farther than that. One other quick tennis note. Stefan Edberg, the #1 seed in Paris, played in the World Team Cup earlier today, and he won his singles match over Goran Ivanisevic 6-4, 7-5 as Sweden beat Yugoslavia for the team title. There had been some concern, as you heard Jimmy Connors say, over a strained hip muscle that Edberg suffered on Friday, but he apparently was in good form today. And speaking of good form, we send it back to Dick Enberg and Steve Snapper Jones for the second half of the Blazers-Lakers game after these messages and a word from your local stations.
Text me those numbers.
17.5, sell. I think we ought to sell. Seems like a good number to me. On TV, actors like us always look successful.
Which is why U.S. Bank hired us.
To say they recognize that in a real business, success takes more than just quick cuts. Quick cuts.
Exciting camera moves.
What you really need is practical help.
Like a line of credit.
Because unlike us, you've got to make a real profit.
All we need to succeed
is acting lessons.
We just got the Sandstrom project.
Way to go! Thank you.
White wine, anyone?
You got the right one, baby. You know, I just love this new Diet Pepsi song, but do you think it's caught on yet?
You got the right one, baby. You got the right one, baby. Diet Pepsi.
got the right one, baby.
With 100% NutraSweet.
This is how the world looks through the eyes of a baby born addicted to drugs. If you find it unsettling, imagine how they feel.
The Politics of Survival, beginning Monday on News 8 at 6.
Ford trucks.
The best never rests.
Look, everybody knows our full-size pickup's priced less than Chevy, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's just for starters. This study shows the F-150 will cost less to operate. And look, it'll hold its value better than Chevy. It's more than a good truck. It's a good investment.
More people are driving the best-built, best-selling American trucks than ever before. If your face were square, shaving would be simple, but your face has curves. Introducing the Schick Tracer, with a blade that flexes to put more of the blade edge against your skin. The new Tracer from Schick traces every curve on your face.
People who drink Minute Maid orange soda aspire to great heights. The big orange taste of Minute Maid orange soda, the official soft drink of the NBA.
If your sporty car doesn't feel so sporty anymore, you need a change. By the team, the B.F. Goodrich Tire Team. They'll put on B.F. Goodrich TA Performance tires. Tires designed just for your sporty car. It's a whole new level of performance. Feel the difference. See your B.F. Goodrich Tire Team if they don't see you first.
Eat whatever you want and lose 50.
Side of wrinkles for
Full head of hair in
No one knows more about the promise of modern medicine than C. Everett Koop, MD. Coming to NBC June 4th.
Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft. For those who've discovered its real draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
All my dreams never know fast.
Escort owners talk about the new Ford Escort.
I'm an engineer, and I can tell you that the new Escort is engineered much better.
I drove it. I loved the way it felt. I had to have the car. Bought it right then.
My wife got the station wagon, and I liked the handling so much that I bought the GT for myself. It's the first Ford I've ever owned. I wonder what took me so long.
Right now, Ford is offering low financing or special savings on all new Escorts.
Hey, Michael, you like lean beef? Oh, okay. How about fresh lettuce and tomato? I'll take that as a yes. All the trimmings? All right. Let's say we put it all on a toasted sesame seed bun. McDonald's calls it the new McLean Deluxe, Michael. It's 91% fat-free, 100% delicious. Say, Michael, can we get you one? Haha, true it is. McDonald's new McLean Deluxe, the official sandwich of the NBA.
Did you know the cost of two 12-page fax transmissions from these Minneapolis newspapers to Chicago may surprise you?
I got an exclusive interview.
With AT&T Pro Watts, your business can't get a more accurate way to send a fax.
He talks a lot.
And our prices are extremely competitive. Even though the other company would like you to believe, they always save you lots of money.
Wait a minute. That's news to me. Can I quote you on that?
AT&T Pro Watts, another AT&T advantage.
Ford trucks.
The best never rests.
The first vehicle Henry Ford sold was not a car. It was a truck. Our full-size pickups were first with rear anti-lock brakes, first with electronic overdrive transmission, first with push-button four-wheel drive. Now, what does all this get you? It gets you number one. And if you keep doing it, you stay number one.
More people are driving the best-built, best-selling American trucks than ever before. What does it take to get the smooth, refreshing taste of a great beer in a non-alcoholic brew? It takes Evercool Brewing, the breakthrough behind Sharps from Miller. The non-alcoholic brew with real beer taste.
When you have a lot of horses under your hood, shouldn't you have Michelin high-performance tires under your car? Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
While few race cars are lucky enough to even see the finish line, the rotary-powered Mazda RX-7 has won more races than any other car in IMSA history. The Mazda RX-7.
Kick it out.
The big orange taste of Minute Maid orange soda, the official soft drink of the NBA.
Creating documents with some computers happens one step at a time. But an IBM PS2 with microchannel, on the other hand, can position headline and text, create stunning graphics, revise charts, receive photos, all at the same time. So a PS2 gets the job done in no time, instead of dragging along. For impressive documents, how are you going to do it? PS to it.
People who drink Minute Maid orange soda aspire to great heights. The big orange taste of Minute Maid orange soda, the official soft drink of the NBA.
It's the Coors Light Rock and Roll Summer. Yes, the beer that won't fill you up will be dancing its can off all summer long. Just visit the display and look for the specially marked cans, and you could instantly win Carver's Ultimate Stereo System, Haas stereo phones, and thousands of other great music prizes. We know it's only Coors Light Rock and Roll Summer, but we like it.
It was a simpler time. A time of hope and faith in the future. Blue jeans and white t-shirts were in. And people fell in love with the Miata. A ragtop, a two-seater, a true roadster. Everyone seemed to be feeling pretty good. The Mazda Miata. It not only gives you a glimpse of the 90s, it takes you back as well.
Inside, your smooth-running engine is a torture chamber. And under these grueling conditions, only one leading motor oil meets the world's toughest requirements for viscosity breakdown, Castrol. The only leading motor oil that provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol. After all, why make things tougher on your engine? Castrol GTX, engineered for today's smaller cars.
The Bulls going for the switch. The Pistons fighting to stay alive. Game 4 of the NBA Eastern Conference Finals. A Monday afternoon special on NBC.
Because if you don't watch your figure, who will?
It's the right beer now.
Because when it comes to water, the only place to start is at the top.
It's the right beer now.
Because when the party's going full steam, you don't want to fill up. So reach for the beer that won't slow you down. The Silver Bullet.
Coors Light, it's the right beer now.
Mazda trucks are built so tough, they're guaranteed bumper to bumper, long enough for a trip around the world. Twice. Mazda trucks, guaranteed tough.
Ralph, pull Lord James out your chair.
It just feels right. They say that it's over. They say that you're through. But they just don't know you the way that I do. So bring back the best.
It's not how much you pay that counts, but what you get for your money. This consumer tip was brought to you by Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
Each year, the tranquility of a Parisian spring is interrupted by the thunder of champions. The French Open, the most grueling Grand Slam in tennis. Coverage begins next weekend.
It's Gary Payton. He's a good player, but he's a rookie. And most rookies aren't very smart. Gary, tell us what a rookie does.
A rookie waits on the veterans, hand and foot. He shines their shoes. He buys them lunch. He carries their bags. He washes their cars.
For rookie, Gary's pretty smart. You missed the spot.
People love the convenience of fax machines. What most of us don't like are funny paper faxes that curl up and are hard to read. That's why Xerox makes more kinds of plain paper fax machines than anyone else, for documents that are easy to read and a pleasure to handle, because they're on good old plain paper. Plain paper fax machines from Xerox, the way to put it together.
Putting it together.
Faxing, scanning, copying, printing. Xerox, the document company.
This week on NBA Inside Stuff, he's won 2 championships with the LA Lakers, but now Michael Thompson finds himself watching from the bench. Through it all, he hasn't lost his sense of humor.
Show me how to dunk. I haven't played much this year. I forgot how to. Come on. Oh, yes.
And he's going to go off.
What's the inside word on the NBA playoffs? There's only one place to find out. Join hosts Ahmad Rashad and Julie Moran for the Inside Stuff, Saturday on NBC.
I'm Stephen Frazier. On NBC Nightly News, a new controversy about AIDS. The Bush administration may keep its policy that says people with the virus can't emigrate here. In Ethiopia, rebel troops are on the verge of winning their war against the government. We'll have the latest. And we'll see why some people with disabilities say they're being treated like second-class citizens by Social Security.
Bob Costas back in New York. We have a few moments left before we have to leave the air on this edition of the NBA on NBC. When we come back, if time allows, a brief word with Magic Johnson, a look at the final stats. We'll talk things over with Pat Riley, and we'll do it on the post-game show right after this from your local stations.
A promotional fee has been paid to NBC by United Airlines. Come fly the friendly skies.
An innocent girl kidnapped by a man who owned everything.
I want to see her. Where is she?
What she needed was a desperado.
Can I ask you to do something for me?
What she got was more than she imagined. You got my word on it. A Memorial Weekend romantic adventure.
Where's the little girl?
Desperado, Badlands Justice on NBC tonight.
These people all have something in common. The cars they drive have that new-looking tires. And surprisingly, over half of today's cars drive on them. They're lower, they're wider. Some call them touring tires, others call them performance tires. Whatever you call them, at Les Schwab, we've got them. The right speed rating, the right size and style, backed in writing by the Les Schwab warranty. It's why we say, when you're ready to replace the tires on your new car, performance or touring, the name to know is Les Schwab.
Attention shoppers, would everyone please leave the store? We're just too busy to take your money right now.
This is what a busy signal can sound like to your customers.
Time to go away and take your business someplace else.
So make sure you have all the phone lines you need, because it's not just a phone line, it's your bottom line.
You, sir, with a hat, put it down. And thank you for trying to shop here.
U.S. West, making the most of your time.
Eric Johnson, frustrated entertainer, satisfied sports guy.
Okay, we're back. Bob Costas with Pat Riley. Our time is short. Let's go right back out to the Forum in Los Angeles, where the Lakers win today 116-95 to go up 3-1 on the Trailblazers. And Magic Johnson has been good enough to hang around for a brief word. Magic, this thing started out billed by everybody, the players included. I think you were the guy who said this is players only. Everybody was looking for a tough 6 or 7 games, and right now you've got this thing by the throat. Are you surprised by how easy it's been to this point?
Well, I think that you got to look at it two ways. Either their speed and quickness was going to get to us first, or our post-up game and slow-down game was going to get to them. And our post-up game has gotten to them, and for the last, the 3 games that we won. So as long as we stay even, we feel on the boards or have a slight lead, we feel we have a good chance of winning, because they can kill you on second shots in the transition game. And I thought that we kept them out of both today and also on Friday, or I should say Friday and the first game that we won.
Irvin, your defense this year obviously has been just tremendous, but in this series particularly, you have shut a very explosive offense down. What are the things you're trying to take away from Portland where they're not getting the kind of shots they got during the regular season?
Well, what we're trying to do is, first of all, get back on our transition defense. If we feel we can take away a lot of those easy hoops, those dunks and lay-ins, then we feel that we can defend them in the half-court game. Maybe make them take tough shots, jump shots, and get the rebound. But 2 things killed us in the regular season playing against them. We had a high number of turnovers, and then they killed us on the board, second shots. And we thought we defended them well in the regular season, but they just killed us. I think they averaged something like 25 offensive boards during those 5 games. But in these past 4 games, I think they averaged them maybe about 10 or 11. And as long as we can keep them down there and also keep them away from getting in their transition game, we feel it's to our advantage.
I know you don't want to talk about this. It might be a long ways away, but with Chicago up 3-0 and the Lakers ahead 3-1, everybody's looking for the possibility that might be finally Michael and Magic in the finals. Well, what do you think?
Well, I'm sure just like I'm smiling, he's probably in Detroit smiling too. It's just I think everybody's been anticipating it. Someday it would happen, and we're both a game away from making it finally happen, and it would be just an out-of-sight series and a dream come true. I think for both of us, because we almost on a measuring stick with each other. Michael and I, so it'd be nice just to put the 2 teams together. They're playing awfully well, and so are we, so it would be great. But, business at hand, we still got to win 1 game, and so do they.
Magic, thanks a lot for sticking around and talking with us, and we'll check you on Tuesday night in Portland as the Lakers try and wrap it up. As Magic said, the Pistons are, in fact, on the verge of being eliminated by the Chicago Bulls, who have swept the first 3 games of the Eastern Conference Finals, despite the fact that no team has ever come back from a 3-0 deficit in any NBA playoff series. Michael Jordan and the Bulls are still very wary of the defending NBA champions. Here's Michael.
I don't think we'll be overconfident. I think we're going to move in and try to kill this team while we got the opportunity. We don't want to give them an opportunity to get in life. We got them on the ropes. Why not just go ahead and try to knock them out?
All right, what about Rick Adelman's post-game speech, or what his move might be tomorrow? Here's a team with the best record in the league. They were down 33 points at one point today. They lose by 21. This team won 63 games during the year.
It'd be an understatement to say they were discouraged. I mean, I really believe that Portland came into this game probably thinking they were going to win. It's a shocker. And Rick Adelman probably goes into the locker room, says nothing. I think they bring it in, they put their hands together. He'll make a statement to the team tomorrow. There's not much more they can do but do what they've been doing all season, but they're going to have to do it better if they're going to get back in this series. He can talk about Game 6. They can get it to 6, then anything can happen.
Okay, no team, as I said, has ever been down 3-0 like the Pistons are to the Bulls and has come back. 4 teams have been down 3-1 in an NBA playoff series and come back to win. Most recently, 1981, when the Celtics did it against Philly in the Eastern Conference Finals. They went on to beat Houston and win the NBA title. The Celtics, like Portland, had games 5 and 7 in that series on their home floor. Here's what's ahead on NBC. 3 o'clock tomorrow, showtime, followed by the game between the Bulls and the Pistons as Chicago goes for the sweep. Then it's Game 5 from Portland the next night, 9 Eastern time, the Lakers and the Trailblazers. They're telling me we don't have time for the shootout.
I'm 1 down. I can't believe this. You've talked your way. You've talked yourself right out of the
They're saying in my ear, just take us off the air. I'm telling tomorrow at halftime, I'm going to get tomorrow at halftime. We can shoot 3. 3 or 5 at halftime. Make up for all the missed shots.
Okay.
I'm just letting you get close so it's interesting. See you tomorrow.
Optimistic about Tuesday's must-win game.
Still hopeful. They still have a chance to bring it out.
I think the Blazers still have a great chance. They got to be dominant here in Portland, go back to L.A. and beat them down there and come back home and bring us a championship.
Our Blazers. Yep. They're the best. Yep.
It's a good feeling to come home with this kind of support.
Oh, it feels great. It feels nice to come home and get a warm reception. You know, I think the important thing is that we just have to realize that we're still a very good ball club. We won 63 games, and we still have a lot of basketball to play yet in this series.
And Joe Becker will show you some of today's basketball later in the newscast. Well, some Blazers had to work today, but
now Portland was a pain to watch for the second game in a row in this series. Now the Blazers are 1 loss away from being eliminated by L.A. Jerome Kersey did his part today, 25 points, but Magic Johnson's 22 leads a more balanced L.A. attack, and the Lakers take Game 4, 116-95. Now, the Blazers at least start a little better than they did in Game 3. Jerome Kersey really showing up for work, 11 first-quarter points, but he's about all Portland has going. And a 5-point Blazers lead is destroyed by Magic and his Laker buddies. Mike Tyson says, hey, nice punch. The Blazers pride themselves in good board work, but where was it today? Worthy for the offensive board and bucket, L.A. on a 14-2 run. And it's L.A. doing all the running in this one, too. Most of the games, fast breaks, going L.A.'s way. Byron Scott to the drive-up window for 2 more. By the time Magic plays beat the clock just before halftime, the Blazers are looking like leftover spam. It's the Lakers by 20 at the break. The Lakers expected a Blazers run in the third, and Portland does chop some wood here. Porter's block will lead to another Kersey slammer. Portland within 13. But A.C. Green, great board work, and he won't let Portland any closer. 5 offensive boards for Green, 16 points off the bench today. And after that, it gets more embarrassing than wearing a bathrobe to a prom. Sloppy execution leading to easy Lakers stuff. It's L.A. by 22 after 3. It's a sorry day for Rick Adelman and company. Magic's 3 makes it, wow, a 33-point lead for the Lakers. The Lakers take a commanding 3-1 edge with a 116-95 win. Clyde is sad. Jack, well, he's glad. And the fingers are pointing to an L.A.-Chicago final.
Don't be a bad person up there.
I mean, obviously, we're in deep trouble. You know, all we can do is just focus on one game. We can't try to look at it as 3 games in a row to win. We got to look at it one game. We have to win Game 5, and then we'll just take Game 6 as it comes.
Well, the Lakers have upped their game a notch, and our team seems to be struggling. And this is not a particularly good time to be struggling as a team. We're not really stunned. At this point, that we couldn't play better. You know, the last 2 games, we definitely haven't played well. We've got some Ducks got in foul trouble, hasn't played well, and our team as a whole hasn't really played that well.
When we took that lead and went into the first quarter with the lead, after they gave us that first punch, we just never looked back after that.
I was very surprised. I thought we started off very strong. We seemed to be very active early in the game. We were pushing the ball up the court, and then suddenly it just stopped. It was like we ran into a wall, and once they got the momentum, they're very hard to stop.
It was fun. You know, it was so many times being out there that if I didn't have my mouthpiece in so tight, I probably would have smiled out there. It was fun. It was absolutely fun sometimes because my teammates were just so alert out there.
Boy, the mood in this locker room was very disappointed. We lost the game today. We felt we could get a split down here. Now we have to come out and play a lot better than we played before. We will be back here in the Forum again to play the Lakers in this series.
Game 5 at the Coliseum on Tuesday.
Around the lady will be singing soon. The Lakers buried the Blazers today, 116-95. They now lead the series 3-1. Game number 5 Tuesday here in Portland. Eric Johnson was at the Forum today. He has the highlights.
The Blazers needed desperately to find a hot hand in this game, someone who was making their shots, and early on it was Jerome Kersey. He hit 3 in a row as the Blazers jumped out to an 11-7 lead. But the Lakers didn't put up with that for long. They got hot in a big hurry and went on a 14-2 run. Magic misses, but James Worthy rebounds and scores. Then it's the Laker break. Magic to Worthy, to Byron Scott, and just like that, the Lakers were up 32-23. It was like Game 3 all over again. A.C. Green takes the pass from Larry Drew, throws up a prayer, and it goes. A.C. was just tenacious in the first half and gave the Lakers a big boost. As the Lakers gained more and more momentum, Clyde Drexler tried to get the Blazers back in it. He gets the beautiful running hook here, but there was no stopping Los Angeles on this day. They shot 54% in the half. Byron Scott gets blocked here, but A.C. Green is there once again. The lead was up to 20 for L.A., 57-37, right before half now. And this is the way it went for the Blazers. The clock ticking down. Magic Johnson with the hook shot. That goes 62-42, L.A. with the big lead at the half. The third quarter saw the Blazers come out with a new attitude. Terry Porter drove for a bucket. Then Terry stole the ball from Byron Scott and started the break. Clyde to Jerome Kersey for the jam. The lead was cut to 13. Then it's Cliff Robinson with a block. Clyde gets it to Jerome one more time. Another jam. But every time the Blazers looked like they might get on a roll, the Lakers would answer back. Look at AC here. Grabs the rebound and scores. He and the Laker fans were going nuts. The lead was back up to 19. Then look at Magic pull a rabbit out of his hat one more time. A pretty shot. 84-66 Lakers, and the Blazers could not stop the bleeding. Another Laker break. The lead was up to 23. The fourth quarter, well, it was like men against boys. The Lakers were toying with the Blazers. The lead got up to 30. This one was all over. Final 116-95. The Blazers' frustration was apparent, especially with Kevin Duckworth. His team is in dire straits right now, trailing 3-1.
I think the Lakers have played two superior games here, and as a result, they've won them both. And we're down 3-1. And you just got to face the situation. We have our backs to the wall. Tuesday's a must game, and it's going to be a big game for us.
You know, obviously what we're doing is not working. Giving Magic that much time in the post for the basketball. We're going to have to change up and try something differently than what we tried in the last two games.
They get just about anything they want offensively.
Can you win 3 straight games from this team?
Can we? Yeah. Yeah,
Think you will?
We'll see. Just try to win game 5 right now.
We just played a good game. When you look at it, draw a game up, this is the way you draw it up.
And so the situation for the Blazers obviously is not very good at all. They get routed, dominated twice here at the Forum. They get to go home now, but they are also on the verge of elimination. In Inglewood, California at the Forum, Eric Johnson for News 8 Sports.
We all know that Laker games are pitiful.
We didn't do anything as far as what we should have done. We got some guys in foul trouble, and we just didn't play well and didn't play with a lot of poise, and some key stretches would hurt us.
The key stretch, midway through the first. Down 3, the Lakers charge out of a timeout and make a 14-2 statement. A relentless Vlade Divac muscled up a prayer, tied it with a free throw, and Portland never led again.
I've seen some shots today that you use in a horse game. You don't use in a real game, you know, and so it was funny to see that and experience. But then again, that's the nature of this, the finals.
Next, it was AC's turn. Anchored to Dunleavy's bench in Portland, Green was in the Blazers' face in L.A. His extraordinary three-point play keyed an 18-4 Laker uprising, much of it with Magic off the floor.
He gave us a lift. He was all over the court as far as getting rebounds, second shots, and I think he was the key today. He played extremely well.
L.A. was beating Portland at its own game, winning the backboard battle 13-6 in the second. Terry Teagle took tough shots and made them, while the Lakers surged to a 20-point lead at the break.
Guys came in off the bench playing well, and we had some good runs, you know, and that's how we're going to keep them down, if we can make our runs.
After losing Game 3, Portland downplayed the Lakers' adjustments, writing the loss off to bad biorhythms. But this time, it was unmistakable. The snarling Lakers ran the stumbling Blazers to the brink of extinction.
They got all the breaks, but they made the breaks, and they played a better game.
And they deserve to win. We didn't play well enough to win today. I thought there were some games that we had played well enough to win, but tonight, this afternoon was a game that we didn't deserve to win.
The Blazers arrived here with both confidence and momentum. They leave feeling disbelief and desperation. They came to Los Angeles hoping to establish a new world order in the NBA West. But now they're just one defeat away from starting all over again next year. In Los Angeles, Mark Schwartz, ESPN.
And so the Lakers seem to be on a collision course with the Bulls, who've lost just one playoff game so far.
Vlade Divac. It's not Vlade won the game, it's the whole team. I don't care about what they said about Vlade did. Vlade did this. it's a team game.
I think this team is really going to respond tomorrow. It's a matter of going out, implementing your game plan, and making sure that you're not playing for a lot of, just too much urgency and really coming out and moving the ball and executing. So far, we haven't been able to execute in the last couple games.
Both teams will
climb to get to the finals, and we're talking Mount Everest magnitude, folks. Portland is down 3-1 to the Lakers, but today Coach Rick Adelman is reminding everyone not to count his team out just yet.
We have to get back to the basics of what makes us good, and we haven't been doing that. We've been very impatient offensively, trying to do it all too quickly, and against the Lakers, you're just playing into their hands. You got to give them credit. They've done a very good job defensively, but I just feel that we're a much better team we've showed, and I believe this team always responds, and they're going to respond tomorrow night.
Now, game number 5 will be tomorrow night right here on Channel 8. Game time is 6 o'clock.
During the early rounds, the problem seemed so fixable. Make your free throws, play a little defense, and it was hello Lakers. Well, now with the Blazers dangerously close to saying goodbye for the season, the problems are anything but simple. Nothing is working. Rick Adelman needs help, and that's what we've got from the people who play this game, not for the money, but for fun.
They better crush Magic and Byron Scott if they want to win. And Worthy, yeah.
Well, that's the whole team.
That's the whole team. So that's who they got to crush, the whole team.
Only a couple of experts off our vast roster picked defense as something that needs work. Several said the offense is what needs fixing.
I get the ball out to Porter and let him shoot it more. That's what I do.
I get Drexel the ball more and let Porter shoot threes more.
I'd have Porter shoot the ball more.
But the majority of hoopsters we talked with agreed it's not defense or offense or free throws. It's the big guy in the middle.
I think they could start Cliff Robinson, shake Duck up. He's a little weak underneath.
Duckworth is a motion player, and when he is off, he is off.
Maybe not start Duckworth. I think maybe Wayne Cooper, he's quicker, or even Cliff Robinson.
Start Cliff in place of Duckworth. He's having a bad series.
It really sucks to see Duckworth out there because the dude just does not keep his head in the game. He ruins the mood of his entire team, and how can you get any consistency when your center is sulking instead of running?
The experts have spoken. On Tuesday, Adelman should bench Duckworth, make Porter shoot the ball, and as this man put it, crush Magic. That should keep the game close. And the Blazers already know what to do when the game is close. That's right, make your free throws. Tim Daly, News 8.
And once again, you can watch tonight's game here on Channel 8. It starts at 6 o'clock. There are some tough critics, aren't there?
Yeah, I wish they'd have told us how they really felt, though, didn't you?
Right.